MFT is back on Bally Sports, the app, and also on all those regional networks, including Bally Sports South, which is in the Georgia area. And really in the South, there are many Braves fans right now that probably just caught wind of this. Austin Riley gets test results back. He has a fractured right hand. He is out 6 to 8 weeks. That's what the MRI just revealed. Brutal news for Atlanta. I mean, if we're at 8, we're done. So where are we right now? August 15th. I mean, you might not be playing. Even if you make the postseason, that middle of October gets you to NLCS range. So it is just a brutal season for Atlanta with Acuna and Strider and many others going down throughout the season, AJ. But this one hurts a ton. This is the dude that was off to a slow start, then kind of looked like himself lately, plays elite defense and gives you that 35, 40-plus homer pop.
I mean, the hits just keep on coming. Remember, we had Whit Merrifield on here, and what did he say? The first ground ball he took, he almost lost a finger. I mean, Brian Snitker said it then. I mean, they've lost Fried for time. They've lost a ton of guys this entire year. Minter just went down, right? I mean, you name it. Everybody pretty much in Atlanta. Albies has missed a bunch of time. Olsen hasn't been the same. Murphy missed a couple months at the beginning. I mean, pretty much everybody on the Braves team that they were counting on. Michael Harris missed a ton of time. I mean, they're all just going down. And it's, you know what this shows? How amazing when the Braves won 14 straight division titles was, because it's just not that easy. People don't understand how hard it is to make the playoffs in Major League Baseball. It's a little easier now with the expanded playoffs, but when there was 4 teams in each league getting in, it was so damn hard. And for them to do it 14 times in a row, that needs to be talked about more.
When he got hit yesterday, the announcer for the Braves, oh, man, not again. We just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Like, you see that, but the frustration builds because they have so many good players, and they really have been underperforming. So even when they've been back, like you look north in Philly, a team they're going to play right now. For a time, they lost Harper. Now it was 10 days. They lost Schwarber. They lost Turner for 7 weeks, I think. They lost Real Muto for 7 weeks. They had, but the difference is when those guys came back, they've been performing.
That's the difference. Those guys came back. We're looking at some season-ending injuries here. I mean, this one is a regular season-ending injury now for one of their star players. Another one.
Yeah. Who else had season-ending? Acuna and
Strider. So if the Phillies lost Harper and Wheeler for the year, at the beginning of the year, do you think their season goes the same?
I mean, they had Acuna for, a month and a half?
Right. Okay. So but he's saying if you lost Harper and Wheeler for
the year,
mid-May, what do they look like? Not just what do they look like in the regular season. What do they look like in the playoffs?
I'm not denying it, but I'm saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, they've lost guys for chunks. You're talking about guys missing like a week, they're 10 days or whatever. They're missing dudes for chunks of time. Now you lose Riley for the rest of the year. You lost Murphy for 2 months. Minter just went down for the year, right? They've lost there's a couple other bullpen pieces they've lost. Fried has been on and off the IL the whole year. Lopez just came off the IL today, I believe. Yes. So, I mean, they've lost dudes for chunks of time.
So now what? If you're the Braves?
Pray you get in and just hope you get hot. Pray you get in and hope you get hot.
Do you think this team has it, though? I mean, so I was one of the optimists. I'm like, okay, you lost Acuna, you lost Strider. They didn't have Strider a few years ago when they won a World Series. They didn't have Acuna at that time period. I know they had Freddie. I know it's a different team. But my point was there's enough of a bullpen. There's enough star power. I feel like they had a little jolt when Michael Harris came back, at least for that first game with the grand slam. They're like, okay, here we go. There's enough talent here to make noise. Wild card teams do this. But does this counter that? Eventually it has to hit a point where you're like, how many of these top-end players can we lose and not have coming back for a stretch run and potentially the beginning of a postseason? So will they make the playoffs? Arizona and San Diego look like they're starting to separate. Now you're looking at one more spot.
You're looking at the Metsies. We just talked about the Metsies with Andy Martino, right? You're looking at the Mets, and they're right there. I'm looking at the standings right now. The Braves are in the wild card. They're 2 games up on the Mets right now. Can they hold on for the last, 38 games? Is that what they have left? 124, 38? Yeah, 38 games left. I don't know. They're going to need Chris Sale to continue. They're going to need Lopez to come back. They're going to need Charlie Morton to find it. and they're going to need somebody to step up and swing the bat for them.
Mets have actually been super healthy this year too. You know, sometimes we're like, oh, this team's taking a hit left and right. No, that's a real thing. Like, that is a big part of the equation. Are your stars on the field? P. Alonso's been on the field. Francisco Lindor's on the field. Brandon Nimmo's on the field.
And their one really tough struggle.
Yeah.
Alvarez was out.
Right.
Francisco Alvarez was out.
And it hurt when he was out.
That's what I mean. That shows his value. You asked AJ a question. He didn't answer it. I think they still get in. I think the Braves still get in. I think they have enough. I think Max Fried will navigate through all of this. You know, I'm glad he's even back. That elbow teniculate, whatever he had, that tendonitis, like rare thing that he had. Neuritis. Thank you. It's awesome that he's actually back. He's a veteran. He'll figure it out. Morton will give you the innings. You can't expect a 3 ERA. But in the playoffs, that dude nothing but shows up. And Sale is a Cy Young who's going to carry this team. I think they make it. Because I don't think the Mets have enough. I just think seeing them at number 3 in the wild card, that'll be something new, and you don't want to play them.
I am worried about Fried because it's a free agent year. You want to push and show that you're healthy, and he didn't look good in those first couple starts since we learned about this. Second half hasn't worked out well. You start schedule watching as well. AJ, it's Phillies this week, the Nationals on the weekend. Then you've got a pretty good-looking Twins team. Then they're in Philadelphia heading into September. Rockies, Blue Jays, Reds is a nice run, or Reds and Nats. So, the September looks better for them. They have a little bit of a gauntlet right now because you're facing a division rival that has a chance to kind of pound you down.
Put you away.
Yeah.
They can put them away right here. If they sweep this series, you can almost put that division away. Kind of like what Kratz's Brew Crew. I mean, I know he's the biggest Philly homer, but the Brew Crew kind of did that this weekend when they swept the Guardians, because people in that division were probably like, oh, here's our chance to maybe gain some ground. And they went out, swept the Guardians, and now it's an 11-game lead, and that division's over.